I am going to discuss different kind of functions that are frequently used in mathematics and in other subjects as well. So the first one is polynomial, which is the simplest and easiest function to deal with. So that is normally represented like this: y is equal to a n x to the power n plus a n minus 1 x to the power n minus 1. It keeps on going till it becomes a1x and then a naught, where the last term does not have any x in it. So one thing we have to remember here is that n needs to be a necessarily non-negative integer. If n is a negative integer, let's say minus half, minus 1, those are not treated as polynomial function. It has to be a power of 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. These are called the coefficient of the corresponding terms of x, and n is called the degree of the polynomial. For example, if the highest power, of course you can see the highest power is n here, highest power of x is n here. So if whatever is the highest power of x, that is called also degree of the polynomial. For example, if you have something like y is equal to a1 x cube plus a2 x square plus, let's say, a3. Now this has got highest power as 3. So this is called a polynomial of degree 3. So polynomial of degree 3 is the highest power is 3. If you have something like this, a1x plus a0, highest power is 1 here. So it becomes a linear equation. There is very interesting on something on this. Suppose the coefficients are positive for the dominant term. What is the dominant term? The dominant term is the highest power. So whatever be the coefficient, whether it is positive or negative, the value of the function will go towards the dominant factor, which is this one. For example, if it is, suppose y is equal to 2x square minus x plus 1. So here the dominant term is 2x square, and you know for any value of x, x square will be positive. So this function will ultimately, when you increase x sufficiently, ultimately will take the value towards the positive direction of y. It will be something like this. So it will be going up when x is too much negative or too much positive. Not only this, any function having an even power, the dominant factor is even, the dominant term is even factor, this will take the shape in the positive direction provided that this coefficient is positive. Suppose this coefficient is negative, it is minus 2, then ultimately this function will take a direction on the reverse side. So even number, if coefficient is even number and if this is positive, the even number will take towards, the function will go towards positive direction of y-axis. Suppose now you take a uneven number or an odd number. For odd number, we know this dominant position. When x goes towards negative, this dominant position will be negative. We are assuming that this is positive for the time being. So when it is going towards minus infinity, so this will become towards negative side of y. So a function like y is equal to ax cube plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are positive. X cube, when it is minus, it will go towards minus, and when x is positive, ultimately it go towards the positive direction. So it will cross the x axis at some point of time. So the difference between the power, the highest power, when it is even, and if the coefficient of the highest power is positive, in case of even, it will go like this. So it will go like this side and this side. When it is odd power, then it will be like this, provided the coefficient of the highest power is positive. If the coefficient of the highest power is negative, it will be the reverse side. That means in that case, the if this coefficient is negative, then the odd power will be like this, and the even will be like this. So this is the beauty of this polynomial function. Second type of function is power function, where a function is represented y is equal to x to the power a. Now this value of a can be different. Let's say first kind of situation, a is greater than 1. Then the function will be like a polynomial function. So a greater than 1, x square. For example, y is equal to x square. Here a is 2. So it will be like this. Okay. If y is equal to x4, here in this case it will be like this. If it is x6, it will be like this. The more the even power, the flatter will be the curve. And if a becomes a odd number, for example y is equal to x cube, it will be like this, as we explained in the polynomial. If it is x5, it will be sharper. It is x7, it will be further sharper. So this will be the behavior of the curves if a greater than 1. What will happen if a is equal to 1 by n, where n is an integer? What will happen in case a is 1 by n, where n is an integer? For example, let's say y is equal to x to the power half, or let's say y is equal to x to the power 1/3. So how this will look like? This x to the power half will look like this. It is basically root over x. We know that the under root, it cannot be negative, so it will start from 0 and it will go like this. Instead of x is equal to 1/3, you can say it is cube root of x. In that case, it will be something like this, because it will have a negative. This can be negative and this can be positive. So when it is negative, it will be flatter and going towards the negative direction of y. What will happen if a is 1? Then y is equal to x. This will be a function like this. which will bifurcate the angle between x and y axis. That means both of this will be 45 degree and it will be a straight line passing through the origin. This is called an identity function. Because y is equal to x. And 4 is a is equal to minus 1. When a is equal to minus 1, that means y is equal to 1 by x, right? Or xy is equal to 1. That means it will be like this. X and y both can be negative. So this is y is equal to 1 by x. It will have two portion curve. One will be on the positive sides of x and y axis. The other will be both y and axis. Y and x will be negative. So this is, there are 4 type of power functions. First one, a greater than 1. Second is a is equal to 1 by n, where n is an integer. For example, root over of x, cube root of x. A is equal to 1 is an identity function, and a is equal to minus 1 is this one. Third kind of function is called algebraic function, which we have shown earlier, which we have shown earlier, y is equal to root over 1 minus x square. This is one algebraic function. There is one algebraic function which is very interesting. You know the Einstein's theory of relativity, where the mass of an object is a function of the velocity, and it is defined as mass at velocity v, which is a function of velocity basically, is m naught, which is m naught denotes the mass when it is at rest, divided by root over 1 minus v square by c square, where v represents the velocity of the object and c represents the velocity of light. So this is one example of an algebraic function, which is a theory of relativity. The fourth type of function is trigonometric functions. Where y takes the value of a trigonometric function. For example, y is equal to cos x. So this will be the a function like cos x, and again here just wanted to mention here is that for each of these functions which I am discussing, we can think about it is a whether it is a odd function or an even function, or 1 to 1, or 1 to. So all these permutations, combination are possible for each of the function. For example, cos x, this is an even function, because why? Because cos x is equal to cos minus x. So if you have the cos function given on this side, you can just replicate by reflecting on the y-axis. So what kind of function is sin x? Is it an odd function or is it an even function? What kind of function it is? If you put the graph of sin x, you will see the graph will come like this. This is y-axis, this is x-axis, and this is sin x. At 0, sin x will be 0, and at pi by 2, it will be maximum, which will reach to plus 1 here, and when it is minus pi by 2, it will reach to minus 1. So this is the sine curve. Now definitely from here you can make it out that sin x is equal to minus sine of minus x. For example, sine pi by 2 1, sine pi by 2 is equal to 1 is equal to minus sine minus pi by 2 is equal to 1. So this is an odd function. We know for an odd function fx is equal to minus f of minus x. So this is an odd function. And how do you get an odd function? Suppose you have been given the graph of an odd function from 0 onwards, then what you have to do is you have to rotate the graph by 180 degree about the origin, and you will get the graph from for the minus side of x. So that is the odd function. One important thing about trigonometric function is that all trigonometric functions are periodic. That means after every period that function repeats itself. For example, in case of cos x, it is 2 pi. For every 2 pi, the function will be repeated. So cos x plus 2 pi will be cos x. Cos x plus 4 pi will be cos x, like that. But the periodicity may differ depending upon the function itself. Number 5, there are functions which are of exponential type. For example, y is equal to a to the power x, where x becomes the power. It is different from the power function. For the power function, the base is x, and the power is a constant. Here the base is constant, but the variable is on the power. So this is a function. For example, y is equal to e to the power x, where e is a number which is a very famous number. Once you go into advanced calculus, then you will find a lot of usage of it. So e to the power x, it will be like this. Very interesting thing about this exponential function is that it can never be negative. Why? Just try to figure out, because this is a base and this is a power. When we give a power of negative, for example, I say y is equal to 2 to the power x. When x is say 2, then y becomes 2 to the power 2, 4. And when x becomes minus 2, so it becomes 2 to the power minus 2, which actually means 2 to the power 1 divided by 2 to the power 2, which is 1/4. So this, when it is minus here, actually it is division, 1 by 2 to the power x. So it can never be negative. So that's why you see this function will never go below 0. And normally all exponential function will have will be tending towards when x becomes towards minus infinity, it may tend to 0, the value of that. Another kind of function is called log function or logarithmic function. It basically comes from the exponential function, and logarithm is inverse function of exponential. We will discuss later on what is an inverse function, which we'll do after some time. So this logarithmic function will be like this. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. So it will be like this. Say it is log 3x. Then log 10x. Higher the base, flatter will be the slope. Higher the base, the flatter will be the slope for logarithmic functions. The next topic is that how we can get new functions from the old functions. This is very interesting because given a function, from there we can manipulate a lot of things and get a new function which will be of use to us. For example, this is one function fx. Now this function is shifted by c units from here to here. This is c units. So this function can be made as fx plus c. For example, I have a function y is equal to x square, which you know, which is basically like this. Then if I have to find out what will be x square plus 2, y is equal to x square plus 2, what we will do is this function will just shift upwards vertically by 2 units. And what will be y is equal to x square minus 2? So what we will do is this function will shift downwards by 2 units. So then fx will become fx minus 2. So if you add, it will go up positive number, and if you subtract, it will go down. Similarly, suppose you have got a function like this, and you can shift this function towards left, then the function will look like this. Only thing is that x value will go back by this much. So this function will be fx is equal to f of x minus c. That is, horizontally you shift by c units. So when you horizontally shift by c units, you write it f x minus c. Please remember, there are two things. The vertical shifting is, you write it fx is equal to new fx, that is equal to fx plus c, or let's say just to make it clarify, gx is equal to fx plus c, which will, the function gx will be shifted upwards by c unit. If you shift fx by c units upwards, you will get g. Here it is gx will be f x minus c. So see the difference. Here you are adding the units after the function. Here within the function, x is being replaced by x minus c. So this is the difference. This is the horizontal shift. And if you shift rightwards, the new function gx will be f x plus c. So let's talk about new function as gx and the old function as fx. So gx will be fx minus c. That means it is going left side. Gx is equal to f function of x plus c, right side. When we say gx is equal to fx plus c, then the graph is going up, and gx is equal to fx minus c, it is going down. So these are the four kind of shifting that is possible. So we discussed about how to get a new graph from a old graph by way of shifting vertically up, down, and horizontally right and left. Another way to do a new function from the old function is by stretching or compressing. Now when we stretch a function fx, then by c units, then the gx will be c into fx. For example, this is the function of cos x. So you want to stretch by 2 times. So when you do the graph of gx is equal to 2 cos x, it will be like this. So when you stretch by 2 times, so it will look like this. For every value will get multiplied by 2 times. So then gx, the new function will be c is the stretching factor into fx. For example, we have given cos x is this function. This is the cos x. And when you stretch by 2 units, so gx is 2 cos x, it will be like this, where every value, you see that at 0 it will be 0 into 2, 0, so it will be same, but all values will be multiplied by 2. So this is stretching. So the similar way we can do a compression. Let's say fx is equal to, gx is equal to half of cos x. How it will look like? This function gx is equal to half cos x. So it will be compressed, every value will be half of the original value. So it will be like this. So basically it will be flatter, and when C is more than 1, then it will be more vertical, and C less than 1, it will be flatter. So this is stretching. Now we have seen the stretching from the on the y-axis. What about x-axis? So when we do the stretching or compression on x-axis, it will behave differently. When it is compressed, that means your frequency is going up. So in that case, Gx will be f of Cx. C is the compression factor. For example, we have got this graph as cos x, fx cos x, and if we make it Gx is equal to cos 2x, so the compression factor is 2, so it will be compressed here, and the frequency will be twice. That means whatever its value is doing originally, at half the level, the same value of y we will get. So this is the compression. And stretching means it will be 1 by c. When c is a the integer, positive integer. For example, Gx is equal to cos half of x will be your the curve will be flattener and the frequency will be half. So it will become like this. So it will be very flat and the frequency will be half. So these are the stretching and compression. From old functions, we can also get new functions by adding, subtracting, multiplying, and division. Just like our normal arithmetical operations we can do. So in that case, we will say f plus gx is equal to fx plus gx, f minus gx is equal to fx minus gx, f gx fx into gx, and f by gx fx by gx. Here the only condition is the gx should not be 0. For example, I say gx is equal to 2x and fx is equal to x square. So what will be fx plus gx? F plus gx, we'll say fx plus gx is equal to x square plus 2x. Similarly, we can do for everything. One slightly different kind of function from old functions to new function is called f circle gx, which is slightly different from fx into gx. It's called f circle gx. It actually means this is equal to function of gx, f of gx. I'll give one example, it will be clearer. Let's say gx is a function defined as 2x and fx is a function at 1 plus x square. Now f circle gx will be f of gx. Now what is f of gx? F of gx we have seen 2x. It will be f of 2x. And what is f? F is 1 plus x square. So here we replace x square by 2x. So it will be 1 plus 2x whole square, 1 plus 4x square. So this is f circle gx. It is different from fx into gx. Fx into gx is 2x into 1 plus x square is equal to 2x plus 2x cube. So these and these are different. So this we have to remember. Many times one of the issues that come while you do a practical situation is that whether a function is increasing or decreasing. Now a function fx is graphed like this, where this is y-axis and this is x-axis. Now, the increase or decrease is defined on an interval. For example, here you can see from a, this is the value of x, a is equal to x is equal to a here. So these are the values of x. So we define that fx is increasing, sorry, fx is decreasing between this interval, right? It is very clear. X is decreasing between a to b. So fx is decreasing in the interval a to b. And from b to c, in this interval, the value of y is increasing. So the function value is increasing in the interval b to c. So a function can have different kind of combinations of intervals. It may be a monotonic increasing, for example, a function like that, this, which is increasing straight, there is no decrease. So it is called monotonic increasing, and then there could be monotonic decrease and things like that. So increasing and decreasing of function is very, very important, and many times you will see it will come up, especially the derivatives and things like that in calculus, that has been used to find out whether a function is increasing and decreasing. So we'll discuss it later. So let me summarize all the points that we have discussed so far on functions. We have of course discussed how function has come from the special kind of relationships, and then we have discussed about different kind of functions, their behaviors. We started with the symmetric even function and odd function. Even function is the situation where fx is equal to f of minus x, and odd function is f of x is equal to minus f of x. Then we discussed about one-to-one function and one-to function. Then we discussed about different kind of functions possible, frequently come up, polynomial, power function, algebraic, trigonometry, logarithmic, exponential, and things like that. Then also we discussed how to transform old function into new function by shifting horizontally, vertically, left, right, and then by stretching, compressing horizontally and vertically. And then we also discussed that how we can get a new function by arithmetic operation from two functions fx and gx. And a special case we discussed about f circle g. And lastly we discussed about increasing and decreasing function. So these are a lot of things that we have discussed. Now I am sure you are equipped with a lot of information and how to use that. So I would request you to take any textbook and solve some problems on functions. And if you have any problem, please get back to me at shumit.iitkgp.imb@gmail.com for any assistance or support. Thank you very much for watching this video.